Hello, welcome to the West Ham Way YouTube. Myself, Mark Carlaw, and Riley Finch. Riley, Lucas Paqueta. It seems like he's coming to West Ham now. He's on his way, apparently. Medical's booked in. £55 million deal, I think, believed to be around that kind of number. I mean, this is massive, isn't it? This is a really exciting time for West Ham. What would you say?
Yeah, I have no comments at this time. I don't want to get too excited about it because it's West Ham. Like, I think everything's gone a little bit too smoothly so far, to be honest with you. Like, they said it wasn't enough money, so we gave them more money. Still wasn't enough money, so we gave them more money. We raised our bid a third, final time, and they accepted it. All of a sudden, the player sort of negotiations we're normally quite poor at as well.
Yeah.
But I think we've offered him quite a lucrative sum, and obviously given him like a really good sort of talking point for joining the team. I think Emerson was a key sort of role. It had a key role in the deal as well.
Yes.
It's just all going a bit too smoothly for my liking, mate. There's something West Hammy that needs to come up. Maybe I feel like, he's going to have something like his hair's like 2 inches too thick or something like that at the medical, and he's going to be called off.
Don't.
Do you know what I
Well,
mean?
it would be typical West Ham.
It does feel like that. So I don't want to get too excited.
Yeah, I agree. I think what people don't realise as well, X has been giving updates on Patreon on this, and it kind of went a bit under the radar. I think that the club have been in talks with him for quite a while. I think over a month. I think they're trying to get the deal done. So I think it's only because it's come to light in the press that people think that it's kind of been we've been working on it for a few days, but I think it's been going on for quite a while. Hence why I think the wages have all been agreed, and I think there've been a lot of things already kind of in place. It was just a case of dotting the I's kind of thing, So, yeah, I mean, as you say, I don't want to get too carried away. He isn't holding up the shirt yet. And I did wake up this morning with a lot of noise on Twitter saying, "Oh, Liverpool were keen and they're going to step in and try and get a deal out." But I'd like to think we're a little bit too far down the line now. Hence why I was just saying, I think this has been talked about quite a lot of time. I think the player really wants the move, and obviously Lyon have accepted the deal. I think it's quite a heavy transfer fee, not only in terms of a total fee, but I think we're paying quite a lot up front, I believe. I think it's might be around the £40 million mark in cash straight away. So it's a big money deal. So I'd be surprised if it was to fall through now. As you say, it'd have to be a medical issue, I think, to derail it. Or unless something catastrophic happens. But
it'd be our record signing, wouldn't he? So
yeah,
it's. What is he? He's 25. I think it's birthday today, isn't it? It's 25 years old.
It's his birthday today, mate. I mean, you couldn't make. It's just what a birthday
recording. So hopefully he didn't have too many drinks. Hopefully he didn't have too many drinks last night, and he failed his medical. But
But
he, he's one of the world's most exciting number 10s, and the fact that he's, versatility is very key to our squad, and the key to Moyes.
Yeah.
Hence why he's trying to go after somebody like Maitland-Niles, who I think we will lose out on.
But I think he's Southampton. I think you're quite close to him, I believe.
Yeah, they are. But the fact that Paqueta could play an 8, could play a 10. I don't think he's going to be our Souček replacement. So I'm more looking at what he brings to the number 10 role. I think we will be looking at another number 10 instead. I think he will be playing as the number 10 for West Ham.
Yeah, and you're thinking we're going to look for another midfielder to replace Souček?
Yeah, I think the fact that we're still in for Vanaken and the fact that we're still in for Gallagher, for me, insinuates that he's not going to be a number 8 for us. Because if he was going to be a number 8, I would imagine we'd be looking at deals for number 10s instead. And I do think number 10's one of the spots that, and we alluded to it before Vlasic left.
Yeah,
it's one of the spots that I think we have the most depth in. So it'd be interesting to see if he does maybe potentially moving back to an 8.
I agree. I think he's going to come in as number 10. This is my feeling of it. I think he will. I know what you're saying when you're saying, well, that's kind of a position we've got a fair bit of depth in. But realistically, we lack quality in that area now. I think, let's be clear, Lanzini's not the Lanzini of old. We've known that now for quite some time. Since that injury, he's really struggled to recover that sort of form. We've seen flashes of it over the last couple of years, but ultimately, he's really not that sort of player anymore for us. He doesn't really deliver on much. I can't remember many games, really, if you think of last season, apart from, say, a very good performance at Villa, at Crystal Palace and away, a few things like that. He's shown some glimpses of really decent play, but ultimately, he's very, very hit and miss these days. We need someone, if we're going to push on now and be a top side, we've got to have players that are really high level and consistently good. So I think Paqueta will be coming in as the number 10 for us. And I think that the club are looking to bring in another midfielder. You've mentioned Gallagher there. I know that X has said about we're very, very keen on him. I think there's a fair bit of interest elsewhere as well. Palace being one that are quite keen to bring him back. So
the amount of money that we're spending at the moment, would you not rather spend that kind of money on someone like Gallagher, or are you quite happy to see someone like Paqueta come in? I mean, he's one of the world's most exciting midfielders at just 25 years of age.
Yeah,
he slots perfectly into that number 10 role. He's got flair. He's got talent. He's really going to link up. Though passing is just so poor for us at the moment. Hopefully, he's going to come in and sort of link up the midfield to attack in the way that Lanzini
Ye-
kind of used to do.
yes.
He's kind of being held as the next Payet. Moyes talks about he needed Payet type players. He's being held as potentially being the next Payet. But, would you not rather spend that money on Gallagher? I think he was around 35 to 40 million sort of that he would be available for.
I think if we go for Gallagher, which I truly believe we will, I'm not saying we're going to get him, but I think West Ham are going to really push that boat out now to get him in. It will be a loan deal, but I would like to think it'll be a loan with an option to buy next season. I think that's what West Ham will want to do.
That's too easy.
For me, if we can get Gallagher over the line, that would be the 10 out of 10 window for me. I think that's the final piece of the jigsaw. Just a very, very decent midfielder to go alongside Rice. Souček, as we know, has been poor. The kind of excuses are running out for him now. We can't keep standing by him and go, well, he was very good when he started. That was quite a time ago now. We need someone that's going to be consistently decent. So I'm actually happy with it, mate. I know what you're saying. Should we have invested heavily in a midfielder? But if we can get Gallagher in on a loan with the view that we are going to be signing him permanently next summer, for, as you say, 35, 40 million, whatever it will be, I think that'd be brilliant business for West Ham. I really do. In terms of Paqueta, mate, I'm really excited. Like you say, this could be the final that piece, the jigsaw we've really wanted for quite a long time. That really creative flair, someone that's going to make a difference. I mean, let's be honest, we haven't had that for a long time. Someone that really can change games and make things happen. And the fact now we've got a striker that's showing signs of being really, really decent for us. I mean, this is just a really exciting time, isn't it? I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing, mate. I can't believe it that we've actually managed to get this agreement in place.
Yeah, I mean,
teams that are in for him.
Look, we talk about Scamacca being in for like PSG and other clubs, but he was at Paqueta's been in for like clubs like Arsenal. He's been in loads of clubs, mate. So, I mean, for me, I think it's a more high profile signing than Scamacca. In fact, when I read that we're in for him again, I kind of thought, oh, this is gonna be like one of them Payet type situations. It's just a bit of paper talk. Nothing's ever gonna come of it. And even if we do bid for him, just like the Mateus Nunes, even if we do bid for him, we're going to be priced out of a move. But to see us kind of offer up the amount of money we're offering, the only worrying thing for me is a lot of people have been speculating that because we're spending all this money, Rice is leaving the next window. Do you believe any truth in that, or do you think we're just trying to reinvest? I mean, the last couple of seasons we haven't invested that much. I think we spent 60 million last window. This window before that we spent 5. So we're kind of due a big window.
I don't believe all this type talk of. I think it's just speculation. We know the situation with Rice. It's quite clear. The player loves West Ham, but he's an ambitious footballer. He knows he's one of the world's best. He knows and he clearly wants to win things. He wants to win Premier Leagues and all this kind of stuff. And fair enough, he is that level of footballer, and we've got to respect that. I think his frustration with West Ham has been when he was offered deals in the past was that we weren't showing ambition, and rightly so, we weren't. We didn't spend a penny in January when we were, arguably challenging for top 4 at that time. It's still a mystery as to why we didn't strengthen, but let's not dwell on that. And I agree with him. He's probably thinking, well, why would I commit another massive time of my career at a club that aren't really pushing on? Having said that, we will have a conversation about this in another video soon. The club are delivering. They've turned around and said we're going to, we'll show ambition. I mean, if we sign Paqueta and we get over the line, I believe that pushes our spending to around over 160 to 170 million around the summer. I mean, that's ridiculous amounts of money.
It might be more like 180. Something like that.
I don't think that we have sold some players as well, and we've obviously sold Diop and things like that. So I'm talk about the spend, but ultimately, I'm not really too bothered about the numbers more than anything. It's more about the player that we're bringing in. You mentioned about Paqueta being that sort of high profile player. Now, if we get this over the line, which is looking likely at this stage, it's not just about that. It also sends a message to other players. It opens up that door. They're thinking, well, they brought in Scamacca, they brought in Paqueta. These are high-profile players that top clubs are after. It will make others want to come, and it's a great advert, So I would like to think one that, like we said, I think we'll be pushing for Gallagher or another decent midfielder, and that would be great. And maybe, who knows? Maybe this will be the sign that Rice wanted. That maybe he will start thinking, well, why do I want to move on? And also considering as well, let's say Man City aside. I mean, Man City don't really need Rice. They've got Calvin Phillips now. So arguably, and Rodri, they're not necessarily going to be looking at Rice now, I don't think, especially with the fee that we're after. And then you look at Chelsea, who are the main suitors for him. Well, they're a club that's massively in transition. There's a lot of turmoil there. They're very hit and miss. It doesn't seem like a really good place to be at the moment. So why would he want to move on from West Ham? That's the question. And No, so sorry to answer your question. No, I don't think it's anything to do with Rice money or anything. I think the club, if anything, it's the opposite. I think they're trying desperately to keep Rice. I believe that once this window closes, they'll be sitting around the table with him again and saying, look, we can offer you 200 grand a week, wherever it is, and say, look, we want to put you on a long-term deal. All they've got to do with Rice, for me, is get him on a deal, but just say it's got a buyout clause, like Villa did with Grealish. At least it protects us then, and then it says, look, if we offer 100, if a club offers 120 million, you can immediately go and talk to them. We've got nothing to say; it's in the contract, and I think Rice would be up for that. I genuinely think he would be, but we'll see.
But yeah, focusing on obviously other players, Paqueta. We don't want to kind of get too distracted, because this is a top level talent. Honestly one of the world's most exciting prospects. So for us to be able to sign him, I think he's going to be there's a lot of clubs out there that are very jealous of us signing Paqueta.
I know.
Liverpool included. There's so many clubs that are sitting there saying, how has West Ham managed to land a player of that caliber? And he's Champions League level. He's played in Europa before. He's him being having that experience and being able to play in those competitions that we're going to be in this year, obviously having taken over past Viborg, is also going to be quite crucial. And I think he's going to pop up in a lot of games with his sort of playmaking ability. He's really good at passing, and that's just something we're so bad at the moment.
Yeah,
there was, and when you looked at us against Brighton, you sort of thought, where's the transition? Where's the kind of person who's sort of making things happen? Where's that killer pass into Skamaka? Just the amount of times Fabianski just hoofed it long and gave it straight back to them. Was Fabianski, sorry. The amount of times he did just hoof it long and give it straight back to them. You think if you can just play it along the floor like we used to and put it into a player like Paqueta and he could just make things happen, it's going to be absolutely insane for us, mate. And considering Morgan Gibbs-White was about £6 million less expensive, I think we've got an absolute deal going on here.
This is as you're right. Let's focus on this. This is massive for West Ham. This is a fantastic deal. If we can get this over the line, this is a real statement signing, and fair play to West Ham United, everybody involved, and I'm talking, not just Moyes and Newman, but also David Sullivan and everybody involved. This is a really good deal. As you say, I think there's a lot of clubs thinking, how on earth West Ham pulled this off? He was heavily linked with Arsenal for a long time, heavily linked with Newcastle, who were willing to spend the earth to get him. Hence why, like you say, when we were linked, I was thinking, I'm not sure. I know X mentioned it about a month ago that he was a player we were looking at, because we know what we're like. We've got a very scattergun approach, don't we? We look at all the players and do as many offers as we can and just see what kind of lands. And I just thought, realistically, that's probably just one on the list that we've just said, oh yeah, we're interested. And they probably go, oh great. But obviously there was more to it than that. They've been working very hard on it behind the scenes, I think, and that hence why the deal seems to be moving forward fast. I think now they've finally got the agreement in place. I think Lyon are notoriously, like Tottenham, very difficult to negotiate with. Got very stern directors, and I think it's at the ITK. Can't think of his name now, top of my head. What's his name, mate? Can you help me out? But he's on Twitter quite predominantly.
The Volk guy,
Rizio, and the Italian guy, but
Rizio Romano.
Yeah, Romano, yeah, that's it. Sorry, and he was saying, and he's right, and said, he knows the ins and outs. He said this was a very tough deal to get over the line. West Ham worked very hard on it. So this is if this is done and we get this done, mate, this is a really exciting time. As you say, this is a player that's world class, and as you say, that part of the play that we desperately need, someone that can open up defenders and can create things, make things happen. That's something we've really lacked, I think. Lanzini used to be that player for us, but he just seems to be off pace now and not able to do it, or certainly not on a regular basis. So, mate,
it also kind of fills up that sort of like two-person sort of idea we have of the squad, where we need at least two players for each position. Because then we've got two number 10s in Lanzini and Paqueta. Two left wingers in Fornals and Benrahma, and then two right wingers in terms of Cornet and Bowen. I know obviously Cornet is a left winger by trade, but he can play right wing.
I agree.
So we've got at least
what we want.
A bit of versatility.
This is what top sides to have. They've all got it. This is what Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal, they all have it. They've got quality and depth. Everyone talked about but look at the numbers, look at the players that have left. Yeah, but the players that have left weren't quality. We've not lost anyone with any real quality. That was the difference. When we've been exposed before, is that when we've had a couple of injuries, we look a completely different side, because we've got suddenly we lose an abundance of quality, because suddenly we've got sort of, dare I say it, sort of lower league, maybe championships or lower table quality players coming in. But whereas now, as you say, we've got now very, very good squad depth. And mate, this is a really exciting time. I'm proper buzzing. Can't believe we've managed to do it. Really,
I just want to see him in the shirt, mate, and then I can truly let myself get excited. But I mean, right now I'm absolutely buzzing. Like you say, it's you know, this could be this. I mean, we've got a really exciting young team in at the moment. As you know, Skamaka 23, and we've got Paqueta 25, Aged's 26.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we really are building for the and Rice, obviously, of course, 22, 23.
Yeah.
We really are building for the future, and yeah, it's really exciting.
Happy days, mate. Happy days. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers.